Welcome to Buzzed and Baffled, the podcast where the wine flows, the stories twist, and the truth is always stranger than fiction. We laugh, we sip, and we dive into tales that leave us buzzing with questions and baffled by reality.
But before we uncork the weirdness, a quick disclaimer. We're not experts, just curious storytellers with glasses in hand. All content within this podcast is our humble opinion. Some content may be dark, disturbing, or downright inappropriate, so listener discretion is advised. And remember, nothing pairs better with a wild story than a good pour, so let's get buzzed and baffled.
We are on episode 19, right?
Yes, I believe it is.
We have two guests. Our French
friend of the pod.
Yep.
And professional sommelier.
As far as Nicole has said, professional sommelier. And her husband, Ben. And we are going to share two stories tonight about different bank robberies that occurred in two different towns.
Why don't you tell the people where we are and why there's a lot of incidental noise?
There's going to be a lot of noise in the background because we are not in the pod room. We are on my patio right now.
Yeah, we are al fresco.
Yes, we are living the dream in the sunlight.
Yeah, I'm going to get sunburned, by the way.
I want Rube to know that her cheese sticks are out and she is wearing her red shorts.
Yeah, cheese sticks are out.
And
my Snoop shirt.
Her Snoop shirt.
This, in hindsight, this was a bad idea because the decal is so big, like there's no air movement.
I want to say, although I am a guest of the pod and not of the pod, I have never in my life resonated with anything quite so strongly as you referring to your legs as cheese sticks.
Yeah.
And I am going to refer to my legs as cheese sticks until the day I die.
She can't take credit for that. No. Her sister called them cheese sticks.
When we were in Colorado hiking, I shared a photo of, I don't know, like my legs were, I had these shorts on, these red shorts, and my legs were in the photo. And my sister's like, got your cheese sticks out, hey? And I was like, God damn it, Rube.
I'm into this. Yeah. I'm into that.
So now they're forever known as my cheese sticks.
Because the trade-off of me going to a beer fest is that she had to go on a hike in Colorado with me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was showing them off in Ulta because you also made me go to Ulta after the hike, which was like moving down the layers of hell.
I didn't tell her that we were doing that. That was a spontaneous decision.
No, you lured me with, you're like, let's go to Starbucks. And then you're like, oh, by the way, we're also going to Ulta.
And that one store that turned out to be really good.
Oh, yeah,
like
Sierra.
The sporting goods store. Yeah. I like that.
Any hoozle.
So tell us about our wine tonight, Kyla.
Oh, yeah. Make me do it because it's
Greek. I want you to pronounce all these words.
You have this giant silencer on here. Moscofilero Butari.
So what she had meant to say was Moscofilero
Butari. I don't know if I like this so much where you're here live.
You would not believe how often I get that.
I'm totally kidding. Moscofilero is a refreshing dry white wine with enticing citrus, floral, and melon aromas. Butari's Moscofilero grapes are grown in vineyards in the Peloponnese. The result is a crisp, fresh, well-balanced wine that complements a wide variety of cuisines.
There's no terroir in there?
No terrier.
Okay. Anyone have any comments or things that need to stay before I dive into the story?
Besides opening the wine?
Oh, yeah, we should open the wine.
Oh, my God.
That's kind of our whole thing. Here, I can hold your microphone. Nicole's papers just flew across her patio. And I see a picture of James Dean.
We think that's James Dean.
That's not
ASMR.
It's not James Dean.
Well,
He's so much worse.
It's upside down. And the sunlight's in my eyes.
I got a taste. So this is Greek, right?
Yes.
That's good.
It's much better than the Boda box I opened today.
I know. They're not going to sponsor us now, though.
Because that box is a little funky. It is not up to Boda quality, and they need to fix it.
Well, better write them a letter.
To me, I really like Moscow Filetto because it tastes a lot like, it's kind of lemony.
Mm-hmm.
It just tastes like summer. And with a beautiful end of the summer weekend.
It's bright.
Why not?
It's a bright wine.
There can be differences between vintages. Is it possible that you've got a 2025 Boda Box Rosé versus, say, a
I don't think they put the vintage on the box.
I don't think there's vintages on Boda boxes.
But it is very possible.
But like, I think I just got like an off of whatever because it's normally pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue to buy Boda Box Dry Rosé.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't leave it out in the sun.
Yes. So this story happens in Houghton, Michigan, where Lee and I both grew up. So she is familiar with this story. So it is new to both of you.
We're foreigners.
So picture it. Houghton, January 1996.
Okay.
The police are called to manage a situation they never thought they would encounter in this sleepy Upper Michigan town. That day, a college student named John Saugatuck robbed a local bank, taking hostages in his attempt to escape. And so the man you thought was John Dean,
James Dean.
is so close.
Jimmy Dean.
Yeah. John Dean.
The Sausage King?
So this is John Saugatuck.
Why does he look like he's from the 50s in that picture?
This is 1990.
Yeah.
I'm assuming his high school graduation picture.
Okay, so even then it's like 92 at most.
1996. Well, but he probably graduated in 92. We'll get there.
Right.
Kyle.
So-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so question. Is he a Brandon or is he a Dylan? He's like a...
I don't know what that is.
He looks like a
I also do not know
Dylan.
what that means.
I
It's
do
a
know what-
90210 reference. He is a Dylan, 100%.
All right.
Because Brandon is steadfast and trustworthy, and as we're about to learn, John Saugatuck is not.
What's going on with all the sticks and twigs in the foreground of that picture?
I don't know. That's the only picture they have of him anywhere on the internet. We're about to find out why.
Hit it.
So Saugatuck, 25, at the time of the crime, came to Houghton as an undergraduate college student from Southern California at Michigan Technological University. However, during his time at school, he developed a substance abuse problem and ended up dropping out and returning to California. He later returned to MTU in 1993. So that's 3 years before this happened. He was described by his family as average, which is the word everybody wants describing them.
By your family.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is probably preferable to what happens. He enjoyed natures, computers, and travel. He had dreams of having a wife and children. He was described by those he knew as being quiet and unassuming. No one predicted the violence that was to come. People began to notice changes in his personality when he returned to the area in 1993. I wish David was here so that he could educate me on how mental health illnesses develop, because I don't know and I need him to tell me.
I was going to
this.
ask you how old he was and if he was if he was in his early to mid 20s and his psychosis was developing.
So people began to notice changes in his personality. In 1994, they noticed that he was paranoid, and he was stating that he was not able to trust his professors anymore, and he dropped out of school again. He returned to California, but then soon left for Alaska. No one heard from him until September of 1994, when his family learned that he had not been in Alaska, but instead was in Switzerland.
Oh.
When he was committed to an asylum
In Switzerland?
in Switzerland.
Ooh.
Honestly, that sounds kind of nice.
Alaska of the EU.
Like, I feel like it might be a spa-like experience.
Yeah. Like the cheese alone.
Yeah, like fondue. You have fondue group. Like,
So he went from here, where he was like stating that he couldn't trust his professors, back to California, went to Alaska, flew to Switzerland, where he was stating that the U.S. government was trying to kill him. Switzerland obviously did not give him asylum, but they did give him a plane ticket out of the country.
okay, hold on here for a second. Was he in an asylum or was he seeking asylum?
Oh, that's an important distinction.
He was seeking asylum.
Okay. That's a little bit different, but okay.
But we got there.
Yeah.
He was seeking asylum. They did not give him asylum. They gave him a plane ticket to Canada.
Okay.
But we're getting to where I initially was. In Canada, he was sent to a psychiatric hospital.
Okay, so he was committed at one point in
Yes.
this journey.
Just not as earlier as I had stated. It's been a long day. I've been drinking since 1.
Yeah.
So he was obviously diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. After his release from the hospital, how long do you think he was in the hospital in Canada, guys? The normal stay is 14 days. I want you to guess how long he was in the hospital.
What, is that the normal stay in Canada?
No, that's the normal stay in the U.S. 14 days to stabilize on medication.
Before they street you.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm
I'm guessing.
6 weeks.
Yeah, I'm going to say it was longer than 14 days.
3 months.
18 months.
Oh,
Wow.
It's here
We
for
should all just
Canadian
move to
healthcare.
Canada.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, he didn't have Canadian insurance. They just kept him. So he must have been pretty bad. Oh, where am I on here? So after his release from the hospital, after 18 months, he returned to his family in California. However, he stopped taking his medication and resumed hearing voices. He stopped taking the medication because it stopped him from being able to read people's minds.
oh well, I mean, I hate when that happens, so I would stop my medication too.
I mean,
Sounds
I
legitimate.
don't know what that is because I can read your mind all the time.
Well, start taking your medication.
Why would I want to start that now? His family at that time described him as withdrawn and paranoid. So,
Oh, that
I
was
know.
a weak spray.
I just got sprayed in the face. As soon as I said it, I
That
knew it
was
was
so
coming.
weak. I got to get this dialed
But
in.
you saw me pause because I knew it was coming. In the spring of 1995, he left his home in California and was living on the streets for a period of time before he returned to Houghton, Michigan. He had an uncle and a grandmother living here, and his family very much thought that perhaps a change of scenery was really what he needed.
That is always the answer to paranoid schizophrenia.
To his family's defense, though, they did notify the local police and mental health agencies of his condition and that he was in the area. So they didn't want him just like show up here and have no idea that this was happening. So they're all aware that
that's
this is
fair.
a risk.
That's David's favorite thing, when people just dump their loved ones in the county.
I mean,
Well, not so much loved ones.
I do love it when someone not from the area just shows up and I have to try to figure out who they are when I have no point of reference for them. It's super easy. So, God damn it. Right in the face. While living at his grandmother's house, he spent most of his time writing. He would often submit his writing to the Daily Mining Gazette, as they all do. However, the newspaper notes they never accepted them.
Oh, dang.
I'm sorry. An aside here. As your international listeners might know, the editorial section of the Daily Mining Gazette is a flavorful broth of
Religious
poetry,
kooks.
Sexual weirdos.
Yeah, that one.
And MAGA.
And MAGA.
That one guy who.
and
they-
I just...
The one writing about the bike riding and no panties.
Gene, I just...
Yeah. What is the level of his writing that the Gazette would not accept?
It is concerning. It was the 90s, though, I suppose. That
editorial standards were higher in
Yes.
1993.
While being
They were.
interviewed, the Gazette said that they refused to accept them because they were too long and rambling.
Oh, so it's like a manifesto.
But, like, considering what we all have seen the Gazette publish, what did these look like? And, like, I couldn't find them online because, trust me, I looked. Saugatuck was always polite about it, though, when he was denied. See how I stopped myself there?
It's working.
You could see, like, the impulse, and I didn't do it. His family notes that Saugatuck was often frustrated that he was not able to spread the message about good and evil, diatribes against the mental health system, which I love, and how to save the planet. During his time with his grandmother, his condition continued to deteriorate, and he refused to eat the food his grandmother prepared, fearing that it was poisoned. Oh no. It fell and it's all discombobulated.
Oh, I can vamp for a second.
Okay.
This is very Ted Kaczynski and his manifesto. There's a little less like Android stuff in it, but kind of the same thing.
So, everyone sitting at this table, do you think that he was as harmless as everyone thought he was?
No.
While he appeared harmless due to his quiet nature, no one knew that he had managed to make a crude bomb made of grenades and black powder that he had obtained and a shotgun that he had sawed off at the barrel.
Okay, I can understand the black powder, but I don't know where to get a grenade.
I'm assuming at one of those, like, army stores?
I don't think they sell grenades.
I don't think
They did in the 90s.
And I don't think you get credit for making a bomb
If it's already
the
a
first
grenade.
ingredient is grenades.
Yeah.
You just duct tape some grenades together.
Nobody needs this kind of negativity.
But also, this wasn't like the Ted Kaczynski level of bomb making. This was the I failed out of tech level of bomb making.
Yeah. Ted
Well, and the
Kaczynski, at
internet
least.
not being readily available at the time, you're doing the best you can with what you've got, which is a sawed-off shotgun and some grenades that you
Found somewhere.
found somewhere in the woods.
On January 18th, I avoided the S word. I wanted to say it, and I didn't. On January 18th, 1996, at 3 p.m., the Houghton City Police received a call that the Michigan, it says MCF First Bank, but I don't know what that was his acronym for. Michigan Central First? I can't
Oh, I
figure
don't
it
know.
out.
I'd have to look.
But they received a message that it was being robbed. Because January 18th in Houghton, Michigan is the best time to rob a bank.
Yep. You certainly won't leave any footprints in the snowdrifts
No.
that are certainly outside.
So Saugatuck entered the bank, placing a note on the door that stated, "The bank is being robbed. You've seen nothing. You're dead if you have."
Oh.
I mean, it's to the point.
Yeah.
He produced a backpack, duct tape, scissors, a knife, and a sawed-off shotgun to take money from the tellers. He also reported to the bank employees that he was wired with a bomb. During the robbery, Saugatuck asked the tellers if they were married or had boyfriends that would miss them. When they reported that they did not. He attempted to take one of the employees hostage, and that was the branch manager. She was also the wife of the chief of police.
Oh. That's kind of I don't know how I would answer that. Do you say, yes, I do have you don't know what his...
It's a real
what
crapshoot,
his
right?
frame of mind is, which way you go.
I'm obviously not going to say this woman's name because he's also still in the police department and she is still alive, so I'm going to leave her alone because I don't need her to be doxxed. So she stepped forward to... he tried to take another bank employee, and this bank manager tried to step forward to take her place.
Oh, brave. Mm-hmm. Would you do that for somebody?
Is it David?
Yes.
No. I would not. Also, David stands outside my door hoping he hears me get stabbed, not to actually help me if I do get stabbed.
That's true.
So Sagredo did not take this bank manager up on her offer. Instead, he strapped a makeshift bomb, but he accidentally shot the woman in the arm.
Oh, whoops. Ow.
He then ordered the bomb to be strapped to another employee, whose name I will not say, tied her arms together, and made another bank employee get her a jacket so she could leave the bank, which I thought was actually pretty polite.
Yeah, he is kind of a gentleman.
Like, it's January 18th. You need a jacket when I take you hostage.
You have to put this bomb on, but also I don't want you to be cold.
At this point, he stole one of the bank teller's cars. But he didn't make it far because the police shot out the tires and the car became lodged in foot-deep snow right across from the Houghton police station.
So, I have an anecdote to pick up right at this very moment, if you do not mind.
Do it.
You have the mic.
January 18th, said 1996. It is blizzard conditions.
It's one of the worst blizzards we've had in like a decade.
Schools have been canceled. Students have been sent home. My father was expecting to be called up for a meeting at Dial Help later that afternoon. And so when he got a phone call...
I bet you he was called for a meeting.
When he got a phone call from the president of Dial Help, he thought, okay, well, this phone call is because the meeting is being canceled. It was an early afternoon phone call, mid-afternoon phone call. He figured it was just routine business to cancel the meeting. My brother and I are home from school.
Because in 1996, Lee and I are both 16.
We're 16.
How old were you, Kyla?
10.
An infant.
She was a fetus.
Okay, so my brother was 11.
Actually, I was 9.
Right,
I was 9 in January, so
that's
I hadn't turned 10
reasonable
yet.
age for them. Okay, so my dad's on the phone. He's talking to the president of Dial Help. And instead of the routine, this meeting is being canceled, what he gets is information about this
Bank robbery,
a hostage situation, and she lives in the boonies. She can't get into town. She is snowed in the boonies, and wants to know if he has any ideas on anybody who can be called for crisis response.
Also, he's a child psychologist in the public schools. He's not a negotiator.
So, but he is a member of the
mental
pool,
health the mental health community.
So a member of the pool. So my dad gets on the horn and he calls two people who he knows who are available to help. Susan Donnelly, a local therapist who works at Community Mental Health, and Judy Plesh, a high school guidance counselor in Hancock response community.
Okay, so they had like a preset response team.
And as a kid, I remember very clearly my dad used to have on-call weekends for Dial Help. So he would have like he would have a beeper. So
I mean, it was 1996. You had a pager.
Yeah. So my dad, Judy Plesh, and Susan Donnelly were the three people who were available to be a part of the crisis response team to the bank. He gets out of the house. He goes over to Houghton. He has been given very little information about the situation, as it turns out. He arrives at the bank shortly after the bank robber has left and is up the street in a shot-out car, knocks on the front door of the bank. Obviously, nobody responds.
Well, because you have to remember, he got his tire shot out right between Dial Help and the Houghton police station.
Yes. So my dad goes around to the back door.
Ben doesn't have context for this.
My dad goes around to the back door of the
listeners
bank.
also do not have context.
Yeah, we can post it.
Well, this is the bank, but I do not have the Houghton police station
I'm being
here.
shown a picture of a
the
bank.
police station is one block north of that.
Three-story brick building.
Isn't that where?
It's the Vault Hotel now.
Yeah.
where the Vault Hotel
Yes,
is
so
now.
the Houghton police
of course,
station
of course.
is
Right next to the
one
subway.
block east of that, not even.
So my dad
Subway
goes
restaurant.
around to
Yes.
the back door of the bank, and as is let in, and spends the afternoon doing crisis response in the bank. He's talking to the employees, working with them, and as he put it this morning when we chatted about it, there was no Stockholm syndrome happening. All right, nobody was feeling sympathetic about anything.
There were no smitten young maidens.
No.
About the guy who accidentally shot someone with a sawed-off shotgun?
No, not at all.
We're going to get more into that in a bit.
So I wanted to interrupt specifically because the point at which my dad arrived in this story was shortly after.
That's like right there.
He left. So my dad.
So I'm assuming this is like 4 p.m.
Yeah. My dad is in the bank providing crisis response to the employees who were there, working with them. Not sympathetic people. Not at all. And that is where we pick up.
Yeah, and he's half a block away.
So yeah, he's half a block away, right across from the police station where Jody Lynn Watts was murdered, quite not far from this time period, because we just did that story.
91, I think.
Yeah, 91, she died. So his tires get shot out, he's stranded in a 1-foot snowdrift, and a 16-hour standoff in one of the worst blizzards in recorded history of Houghton, Michigan happens.
And he's just in the car that whole time?
Yep, with the hostage.
Not just with the hostage, taped to the hostage.
Oh.
No, she was in the back seat.
No, they were taped to each other.
Oh, that's
not
what
some
it said.
insider information.
High
My
five.
dad, he taped himself to the hostage.
So during the standoff, Saugatuck kept the car running to keep himself warm. The police provided him with food and a cell phone, which he used to call the Daily Mining Gazette,
Naturally.
stating that he wanted to give a demonstrated proof of good and evil in this world. So obviously, like, logical thought is out the
gone.
window.
And he knew the phone number for the Daily Mining Gazette.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is reported that Saugatuck made the hostage taste the food prior to eating it, fearing that it had been tampered with.
Fair.
He would not speak to negotiators, but demanded to speak to the President of the United States, who at the time? Let's see if anyone's better at history than me.
Bill Clinton.
Bill Clinton. Although, here's the thing. It would not have been an impossibility because Bill Clinton was very good friends with the president of Michigan Tech at the time.
Okay.
They used to...
but he didn't know that.
No, he didn't know that. Or maybe he did. But they used to vacation together in Hilton Head.
And push come to shove, that's something that possibly could have happened.
But so he demanded that they call President Clinton because he wanted a pardon. The police attempted to reason with him, stating, I can't get the president here.
Yeah.
But he would not be swayed with this demand. So this standoff's happening. So bear in mind, this started at 3 p.m. During the standoff at 3 a.m., he stated to the police they would outright kill the hostage if things did not go his way, and he cut off some of her hair with a knife, throwing it out the window, stating that if his demands were not met, her fingers would come next.
Ooh, so he's taken a turn here.
And I will say, of this entire situation, having my hair cut off with some kind of like hunting knife might be where I lose my goddamn mind.
He had scissors. He had scissors earlier in the story.
Because you're going to have a crooked haircut and you're going to be really mad about that. That you got hostage.
Like, it's not that I'm hostage. Like, it's that you gave me a fucking shitty haircut.
No, there's something like that's especially visceral about somebody cutting your hair though. Like it's disturbing.
It depersonalizes you.
Especially
but he's
if
like,
you're taped to them.
Yeah, if I'm taped to you and you do that, like maybe I'm a little more forgiving, but I do think by 3 a.m. I just might take my chances and see what happens. Kind of like if you carjack me, I'm crashing the car and killing us both. That's the only way out.
You should say that to the carjacker.
She would.
Honestly.
Oh, I would. I say, just so you know, as I unbuckle both our seatbelts, I'm going to crash this car and kill us both.
That was a throwback to our Bobby Joe Long story where one of his victims did that. And she survived.
Because good news, Kyla, he had not.
I don't think this is good news.
It never is.
Why is it good news, Kyla?
Yeah,
You're dying.
Yeah, she always says good news and then says the most horrible thing I can think of, or says, "Oh, I put this in just for you, and it's something I definitely did not ask for."
It's like a horrifying way that a person died, but it's very interesting.
I'm so angry at myself now that I didn't say good news, Kyla. He was taped to the house.
You have to start everything terrible with good news, Kyla.
I made her a t-shirt that says good news, Kyla, and it has the Buzzed and Baffled logo, and there's some scissors in the back because you have to listen to the Bobby Joe Long story to know why.
Nothing has ever cut me deeper.
I mean, I can reprint that t-shirt, and give it to you.
Surely we can buy them on the website, right?
Not yet, because
We don't have merch yet.
We need to get on that.
I ordered this one, and I didn't know what they were going to look like, so I'm not going to order a bunch of them until I know they're good. But I'll show you the one I made for me, and you can tell me if you like it. And if you do it, I'll give you the one for Kyla, because hers is quippier than mine.
Cut me deeper.
I can make that t-shirt for you.
It's a Kyla shirt. Move it along.
Okay, where am I? I'm going over my time. I'm at 31 minutes. Blah, blah, blah. Cut it out the window. So, oh, God! I just got sprayed in the face again. So, Segredo was refusing to speak to his grandmother uncle, who, they're trying to talk him down. They're like, hey, buddy, let's not do this, blah, blah, blah. Local mental health providers were on the scene.
My dad.
Yeah.
Also, Dr. Gary Kaufman, a local psychologist, was advising the police that paranoid schizophrenics are the most dangerous to deal with. And I'm like, actually, no, they're not. Paranoid schizophrenics are more likely to be hurt by others than to hurt themselves, just not in this particular situation. And he is noted to have alerted the police that the haircutting incident was a sign that things were rapidly deteriorating, which I think we can all agree.
Yeah, that's...
He was threatening to cut her fingers off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me as a not mental health professional, although I have absorbed some via osmosis because I could probably recite the Michigan Mental Health Code at this point.
Per the Michigan Mental Health Code, I'm going to hold my fingers out the same way he does. He's a Boy Scout as he's doing it. We should note, though, that due to it being a bank robbery, the FBI came from Marquette, and the bomb squad was called from Negaunee, which I did not know we had.
I don't think they're there anymore. I think our nearest bomb squad, and I could be wrong about this, is Traverse City area. I think when they restructured, I'm going to vamp while you're looking for your next paper. I think when they restructured the MSP, they got rid of our UP bomb squad.
Considerably harder to just buy grenades now.
Yeah,
So.
it sure is.
So this is the photo of the police talking to him between dial help and trying to convince him. I'm like, just grab him and drag him out of the car.
Do you know who that
But also
is?
this type to her.
Do you know what officer that is?
I don't.
Oh, okay. I'm sure we could find out. But
It's like a fucking grainy photo from 1996.
Pictured one of the most copper country photos I have ever seen.
Go to buzzedandbaffled.net and all these listeners can see it
yeah,
too.
that could be a bank robbery or that could be just a stranded citizen. It all looks the same in that photo.
It could also be like a DUI pullover, and they're just like, we're going to follow you home.
Yep, could be
No,
any of
the
those.
dialogue is just cut your wheel hard to the right. We're going to try to push you out.
I've also been stuck in a snowbank, and someone does that to me, and they just pull me out. So it happens.
Oh.
I have a whole thing here about the atrophy of paranoid schizophrenia. We went over that. And then Lee already went over her thing of events because she jumped the gun there and told me.
Sorry.
No. Oh, you should have hit the
Sorry.
horn on her. That's what Nicole gets when she says literally the next sentence in my story.
We can't hear the horn.
I know you can't.
No, you
'cause
don't have the headphones on. You have to listen to the episode, Ben.
No deal.
So the next day at 7:35 a.m., the blizzard is still raging. 57 offers from 10 different law enforcement agencies are now on the scene. Apparently, he's taped this woman to him, cut off her hair and threatened to cut off her fingers, and is making her taste test his food, which I'm assuming was Burger King, which was right next door to where they were.
Yeah.
And this is pure conjecture, but this is what I'm guessing.
Because what else would it be?
It could have been the subway where that woman was murdered.
Yeah, it also could have been Subway, I guess.
Ooh, what if they sent him a latte from the Motherlode?
You
Should
think
be so lucky.
I mean, he should have been less angry if it was a latte from the Motherlode.
Or from Cappuccino.
Mm-hmm. The bank president offered to trade themselves for the hostage and to pay Saugatuck $1 million. However, the police did not allow this, citing that they never trade hostages, which, I mean, kind of makes sense. Because that's incentive for other people to do that.
It is. But then you just arrest the person and put them in jail. You don't actually give them $1 million and let them free.
Well, and the police said no because he does not appear to be motivated by money. Like, he's here because he thinks he's saving the environment and, like, Bill Clinton and blah, blah, blah.
Good and evil.
However, there were sharpshooters on the roof nearby, which, as I was thinking about it, they must have been at the top of the building where the police were.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, they're across the street.
Or like the parking deck.
It could have been on the parking
like
deck.
the
Yeah.
parking deck. Yeah.
So they had a clear view of him, and they were observing him shifting the detonator between hands and setting it down from time to time. This indicated to the police that the bomb strapped to the hostage would not be detonated automatically, which is a good thing. You have to pull the trigger. It's not like if I let it go, it goes off.
Yeah, it's not a dead man switch.
Yep. Finally, when the sharpshooters observed Saugatuck putting the detonator down in his car, all four of them fired at once, hitting him in the head and killing him instantly.
Ooh.
The police were able to extract the hostage from the car and safely remove the bomb from her. So the bank manager who tried to trade off immediately was shot in the arm and ended up losing her arm as a result of the attempt to protect her staff. Because think about it, like a shotgun at close range. So the bank where the robbery occurred later transitioned to Wells Fargo in 2000 and closed in 2018. And it is now the Vault. I was so close. I'm always so close.
So close.
The Vault Hotel in Houghton, Michigan.
Interesting. I did not know that happened.
Mm-hmm.
I would have heard that on the news. That would have been something I remembered, and I don't know why.
But you were 9.
No, but I was a mature 9. I watched the news. I watched TV6.
So now we have to quickly transition into Ben's story.
We do. Do you want to try to hit pause so we don't run out of time?
I think
We're just going to keep going.
We're just going to do it?
It's going to be longer than 60 minutes. We're just going to go.
Okay, just see what's going to happen.
Let's see what
You
happens.
can have this better microphone.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Can I have a squirt gun so if someone says so, I can squirt them?
They're allowed to say that.
I'm allowed, Nicole. I'm allowed to say that.
Wow.
I'm just waiting for Kyla to say it.
Damn it, Nicole.
that was an unprompted squirt.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. What the hell?
So I feel like we couldn't have structured this better. Because this is absolutely, just 2 bank robbery stories that couldn't be more different. Along with the way that I have structured my story versus the way that you have structured your story.
Does no one get their hair cut and have their arm blown off in your story?
It's also, these bank robbers are good at it.
Oh, okay. These aren't Houghton bank robbers.
So let me give you a little intro. It's the week after Labor Day, the small vacation town, about 8:10 in the morning.
So this is apropos to the season.
It is apropos to the season. I wasn't sure if we were going to hold this for the Christmas episode or something.
No, this is getting published tomorrow.
Okay. So 8:10 in the morning. Patricia Pat Dippenhurst and Frank Wicks are just starting their day preparing to open up the Citizens Trust and Savings Bank.
I have a question.
You'll notice I learned the name of the bank before starting to tell the story.
I've been to Saugatuck. Have I met these people?
No.
Okay.
I can't imagine that you did.
Ooh, you might have been near the bank, though.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I'll talk you through where it is.
Okay.
You're basically in the story.
You literally, yeah.
I lived it, Kyla.
Absolutely. So 8:10 in the morning, Pat and Frank are just starting to open up the bank. It's drive-up window opens at 8:30. So Pat's the teller. Frank is the loan officer for the bank. So they're the two of them. I'm used to the other mic. I have to choke up on this. Suddenly, three men burst through the front door. They're dressed well, dressed like businessmen. Pat hears the commotion and sees them first. She calls out to Frank. One of the men moves towards her. "Get down on the floor," he orders. Pat's confused. She turns to walk away, and the man rushes across the bank lobby.
It's very rude.
Grabs her, forcing her to her knees and then to the ground. She can hear the other two men struggle with Frank and drag him back to the vault. She can hear rustling and the man that pushed her to the ground moving around her. After what seems like a long time, she hears someone say, "Let's go!" And abruptly, the men are gone. The three men, plus their getaway driver, would escape cleanly in what one FBI agent who worked the case called the most sophisticated, professional, and most fascinating bank robbery I've ever worked on.
Okay, that's actually quite impressive. I like it. It's impressive.
Manhunt goes on for decades.
Oh, wow.
They were difficult to identify because, as Pat put it, this is bigger than town boys doing this. Of course,
What I'm hearing is that Ben and his friends did not rob the bank.
did not rob the bank, being
Where
relatively young at the time.
where was Eric?
Let me get you to the last detail. So they're all dressed in suits. They're all wearing black leather gloves. And they're all wearing Halloween masks.
Richard Nixon masks.
So this is the story of the largest successful bank heist in Michigan history. Saugatuck bank robbery.
How much did they get?
I bet he's going to tell you.
I was gonna let you guess. So in today's 2025 dollars, how large do we think the largest bank robbery in Michigan history is?
But Saugatuck is a big vacation town, and there's a lot of rich people having homes there. But how many people store their money there?
Well, so we also haven't covered when this happened. I gave you some clues. Kylo, when do you think the largest successful bank robbery in Michigan history might have occurred?
Well, you said you were quite young.
I guess we did say that. That probably helps.
So I'm going to say like 88.
Listeners, I have said the date of this bank robbery to Nicole no fewer than 3 times today.
I know what it is, but I'm not going to mess it up.
So it's 1991.
I knew it was 1991.
So yeah.
But I asked him because I had to make those beautiful photos that I showed you.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we can ground ourselves in 1991, right?
I was 11. How old were you, Kyla?
Depends what time of the year it was, but 4 or 5. This bitch.
She's a fetus.
So I imagine as this bank robbery is happening, right? Like, we've got on the radio REM Losing My Religion. We've got More Than Words by Extreme. We've got
love those
Enter
songs.
Sandman.
Do you remember any of those, Kyla?
I Touch Myself by the Divinals.
Oh, absolutely.
That is actually one of my favorite karaoke songs because watching people get so uncomfortable is so funny to me.
I actually saw, I think, in Saugatuck on New Year's Eve of this past year, I think, I'm going to call it a seminal performance of I Touch Myself by the Divinals.
Okay.
It moved me.
I bet it did.
It moved me.
So just to explain Saugatuck a little bit for folks that haven't been there, right? This is a small vacation town in West Michigan, right up against Lake Michigan. We've got basically Saugatuck, which is a small town, and then you have Douglas, which is like the sister town across the Kalamazoo
That's a Houghton,
River.
Hancock's itch.
But considerably
But
smaller.
richer. It's richer. And Holland, which is very conservative, is south.
So it is not so much richer in 1991.
Okay.
Downtown is like 2 main streets bisected by 4 other streets, and the bank is just off the corner of one of them, so it's kind of right on the edge of downtown, just getting into
well, I mean,
the residential area.
When we did the race there, I could walk the entire downtown in less than 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I walked,
Absolutely.
I finished the race, went home, showered, came back.
So when we're thinking about the amount of money that these crooks got away with, it's 1991. So people pay in cash.
I'm going to
And
say
it is
$500,000.
right after Labor Day. So it's right after holiday weekend.
Yeah, so all the businesses have come in with their deposits from the weekend, so they are flush with cash.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess $4 million.
I'm going to say 500,000.
So today's money, it's between $850,000 and $950,000.
So I'm closer, okay.
1991, it's $360,000 to $400,000. Why are you whispering?
I'm telling her to put her mic closer because we can't hear her.
I wasn't talking really.
No, but before, you're not looking at me when I'm telling you, put your mic
Because
closer.
I'm watching the speaker.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, so as I was researching this story, a thing that drives me crazy about this story, because it only happened in 1991 and it happened in a town that I lived in for quite a bit of time, is that the details on this are obnoxiously thin on the ground.
Is it like talking to me about something?
A little bit. There was a flurry of reporting on it in the 2000s, and in the reporting on it in the 2000s, various newspapers could not agree even on what day it happened.
Ooh, that's bad.
That's bad. We know it's right after Labor Day. It's somewhere between the 6th and the 11th. So Labor Day is on September 2nd.
Did you not find the police reports?
So, no. Because it's federal. And it's federal because they're out of state.
You get Pacer.
Be gentle. He's new to
Yeah.
potting.
No.
Okay,
We'll dig them up.
I'll dig it up.
Okay, so I actually...
Give it to me, I'll find it for you.
And I would love it if you did, because there are several details that are key to the way the city remembers this story that I am increasingly convinced aren't right.
Does this
I would love to follow up on this.
Does this involve me coming down and like giving a speech that's like long and like winding and doesn't make a lot of sense, but somehow has the dates in there where they have to remember it?
So,
Probably.
you telling a pod story?
But like live and in a city on vacation.
Okay, so it's the same. It's one of your pods, but just in a different place.
Okay, so somebody mentioned Richard Nixon already, so let's get into that. Everybody was wearing Halloween masks. It's 1991, which means that there are various very successful movies happening at the box office. Terminator 2,
Freddy?
City Slickers,
It could have been a Freddy mask.
and a little film called Point Break. Has anybody seen Point Break?
I've seen Point Break.
You know that I have not.
I think I know that you have not.
If you all look on the website, you can see Ben and Leah in Point Break on the poster.
Okay, so Point Break comes out 2 months before this crime happens. In Point Break, we have a gang of surfers that are committing bank robberies in LA. And they are committing bank robberies in LA as the ex-presidents. They're dressed up in Reagan and Nixon masks in suits, robbing banks. So the way this story gets remembered, the Saugatuck bank heist, is a bunch of criminals came to town from out of state. They got dressed up, inspired by the movie Point Break, in Reagan and Nixon masks.
But it happened before the movie came out.
It happened 2 months after the movie came out.
Oh, no. Okay.
They rob the bank, and then they get away scot-free.
Okay, so I have to say this, like, had it been in modern times, like facial recognition, that's quite brilliant, because if you're wearing a latex mask, obviously you can't do that. But from previous pods, we know that they didn't have that kind of science.
So they were definitely wearing Halloween masks. From the contemporary stories that we have, because Pat specifically told her story many times. There's interviews with the primary FBI agent who worked the case in the early days. He mentions having someone watch the movie Point Break just to double check, but there's kind of no specific mention of they were definitely dressed as Reagan and Nixon until much later in the reporting.
Well, I mean, I feel like that's a key point of the crime.
And Pat doesn't remember for sure?
She describes them wearing masks.
Okay.
And she describes them as wearing see-through Halloween masks.
See-through?
Okay.
Yeah. Early depictions of the crime specifically repeatedly described them wearing see-through masks. Where I feel like if you were...
That's weird.
We'll post a picture of it. I've got a pretty good idea of what a see... You know, those kind of like... It's just like... And it's just got the...
So is it
the
like
eyebrows and the nose and the lips, and it's otherwise translucent?
I'm picturing like a latex mask. Is this like a hard plastic mask that they're wearing?
It's what it sounds like. Now,
you have to see
I should also
pictures.
say, directly across the street from the bank is the Saugatuck drugstore. And the Saugatuck drugstore in the late 80s, early 90s absolutely had a huge display of latex Halloween masks.
So they very
a
much
young
just
boy remembers that.
They just went and bought the mask.
So that's part of the story, right? Is they just went to the drugstore, they bought the masks, and then they walked across the street and they robbed the bank.
Ben, did you and Eric rob the bank?
I was out of town at the time and have an alibi. So let's talk about the perfect crime. Can I talk you through exactly how they did it and got away with it?
Let's do it.
So Monday, September 2nd is Labor Day. Mm-hmm. So they know the bank is going to be flush with cash. We're going to assume, for purposes of this story, that the crime happens on Friday the 6th, because this makes the most sense to me, timeline-wise.
Okay.
The one thing that we definitely do know is that the day when they committed the crime, whether it's the 6th or the 10th or the 11th or whatever, that's the day when the armored car is supposed to show up to transport back to the Fed.
Well, I mean, that would... If I'm going to rob a bank, I want the armored car to be there.
Well, they're hitting it right beforehand. They're hitting it at the time when
you're going to load all the
maximal amount of cash is in the bank. Day before, two things happen. The crew steals a car in Holland, Michigan, 20 minutes up the road. And then at some point after the bank closes for the day, they damage the lock on the front door so that they can easily access the bank the next morning.
Okay, that's actually brilliant. I like it.
They're great at this. So,
I'm also picturing them just put like bubble gum in the lock.
Fashion full of gum.
Just before 8:10, Pat and Frank arrive at the bank. It's their habit to meet in the parking lot, and then they go in the back door. Sometime around the same time, a member of the crew places a phony 911 call reporting an accident, car crash on the other side of town.
Okay, that's
so they
smart.
There's limited police presence in Saugatuck Douglas to begin with, but they draw all of those people as far away from the bank as possible.
I'm going to tuck that behind my ear, because that's brilliant.
Does it say where they reported the car accident to be?
So the way that Saugatuck Douglas is set up, you've got Saugatuck, you've got Douglas on the other side of the river, and then you've got a little bit more Saugatuck that's also on the other side of the river. My understanding is that it's basically as far so that you have to drive over Blue Star Highway, over the bridge, and away.
So they knew enough to keep it in the Saugatuck PD's jurisdiction, but to get as far away as possible.
Exactly.
It would take you a hot minute to get to the
think over by Mount Baldy.
Mount Baldy.
Would be my guess, right?
Oh, Mount Baldy, the place that is the worst thing I've ever met. It's the t-shirt I'm wearing right now, this fucking race that I did.
So right about this time, Larry Phillips, local businessman, driving by the bank, observes a car pulling up to the bank with guys wearing face masks. He also does not describe them as wearing Reagan and Nixon masks, which
I feel
vexes me.
but I
No
also
one
feel
in the
like-
reporting seems to say, I saw Ronald Reagan get out of a car and walk into a bank.
like, I feel like that's a very specific thing. Like, if I saw that, like, and it
You
was a
would definitely
Ron.
remember it.
Yes.
So, driver stays with the car. The other three men enter the bank. One man subdues Pat, acts as a lookout while also collecting any night deposit bags that have come in since the bank closed. The others drag Frank to the vault at gunpoint, take everything. They're out of the bank within 10 minutes.
That's actually a very efficient system.
The other side of town is about 10 minutes away. They know they've got
Yeah, like,
about
I can
that time, right?
appreciate this.
Frank calls 911 from a phone in the vault, and police from the surrounding area descend on the bank. Meanwhile, the crew drives from the bank into the residential part of Saugatuck. So up the hill, 2.5 blocks right past my house.
Like, to where we would stay.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right up the hill.
And the streets back there, because Colin's never been there, they're like weird and winding, and like nothing makes any sense
Yeah,
back
like,
there.
It's a tiny little town,
Yeah.
a tiny little hill.
There they ditch the
There was no city planning. This
No.
was just where the
people
roads were.
people
where the
just
roads
plopped
Yeah, I
houses
mean,
and they
it's-
built the roads
it's
around them.
pretty square, but it's not. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
It's a little. It's your
a
standard small town.
exactly.
Very, very typical.
So they ditch the stolen car, they ditch their masks, they ditch their gloves, and they get into their own vehicle.
Because they didn't have
Does it
DNA
say-
testing
does it say
back
where
then.
this happens?
It's just up the hill. So they drive up into, I don't have an address.
But remember, like, this is 1991. Like, they didn't have DNA testing and everything back then. So you can leave a mask and it doesn't matter because there's no way to collect anything from it.
This is my favorite part.
Did I just, like, ruin something?
Not at all.
Okay.
So they ditch the gloves, they ditch the masks, they ditch the car. They get back into their own car and they drive right straight back into downtown.
Of course they did. Did they go get dinner?
They rented a condo. They drive back into town, park their car, and go up into their apartment where they've been staying planning the crime.
Were they Airbnb-ing back in 1991?
I assume they had a monthly rental.
Folks, this is why it's so dangerous to. do
Okay, I was about to say they're better at robbing downstate, but I think the police might be better in Houghton.
They're just being normal people. Like, once they left the bank area, you would have no idea that that's the group that did the robbing.
Well,
Because
like-
they've changed and they're in a different car.
And what do, right? You know, you try to get people out on the highway. You look for a car that matches a description, if anybody's seen a description.
But
they're not in that car.
They buckle down and stay low.
Yeah, and they leave by ones and twos over the course of the next week or two. And the police later found deposit bags and uncashed checks floating in the Kalamazoo River.
Mad respect for these people. Like, this is actually brilliant.
Also, again, nobody's lost an arm here.
Nobody lost their hair. No one was taped to anybody with a bomb.
the worst
No
thing is
food
the hair for
tasting.
Nicole.
So I actually think one of the best things in this crime is that they just directed the police away. Mm-hmm. Because
Then
there's-
nobody gets hurt.
So there's no question that they were armed. And they just got away with it.
Because I'm guessing that if you're robbing a bank, you don't want to murder people. Because if you wanted to murder people, you would just go and murder
Yeah,
people.
if you're robbing a bank, you want to get in and out with as little flash as possible. You want to draw as little attention to yourself.
So we have to like tuck this behind our ear so that
We do not, and also we both know that you cannot do that.
I would be talking.
You cannot go somewhere and just be like invisible.
Someone would hear me laugh, and that would be the end of it.
You can't just hand over a note if, in addition to the note, you're speaking at 85 decibels.
Yeah, they'd be like, "Oh, that's Nicole behind the Nixon mask." So Ben, your bank robbery is better than my bank robbery in that nobody got maimed.
Well, my bank
so.
robbery is also better than your bank robbery in that my bank robber was a professional.
Yeah.
These four people knew what they were doing.
He wasn't a paranoid schizophrenic.
No, I appreciate someone who puts in the legwork ahead of time.
I
Decent
appreciate the
criminals.
research. So, like, yeah, you got to give props.
They didn't hurt anybody. The bank's insured.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So, Ben, I will go on Pacer and I will look. You send me the info. I will look it up and see what I can find for you so you can have the answers you need.
Yeah. You tell me if they were wearing ex-president face masks. Can I tell you who they were? Do we have time for me to tell you?
We have all the time in the world because the podcast just keeps going until people stop listening.
I mean, and worst
I'll
case
just keep
is
talking,
split it
people.
in the middle and upload A and B. So.
Yeah, like in the worst case, you just get like 30 minutes and 30 minutes.
When you're a podcaster, they let you do it.
I can do whatever I want. I'm in charge, Ben.
Okay, so do we have any thoughts before I jump into? I've
Do you
said,
know like names of people?
no. I'm saying these are professionals. So what kind of person turns up into a small vacation community in West Michigan and just knocks over their bank?
Ooh, I'm gonna say a couple of jamokes from Chicago.
I'm going to say someone who works in a bank and knows the processes of that bank.
I would agree with that, especially because they seem to know when the Brinks truck was coming. Although that's not hard because my office is above a bank and I know the Brinks truck comes every other Wednesday. So
Yeah.
it only takes like
You just have to observe
you just
for
have
like
to have
a
your
week.
eyes open
Put a
for
pin in
more
it,
than a day,
folks.
but yeah.
Okay, so this is where the story gets really weird,
Okay.
and I'm going to run you through the arrests.
Oh, they arrested people. Okay.
Oh, they caught everybody eventually.
Okay.
Okay. I was hoping they got away.
So, like 5 months later, January 1992, Robert G. Siegel having lunch in Geneva, Illinois.
Siegel?
Siegel, not S-E-L-G.
Not like the bird?
Caw seagull.
I mean, but kind of. Wait for it. Police wait for him to finish and pay, and then arrest him as he's leaving the restaurant.
That's actually very polite on their
Very
part to like not make the waitress be like,
On the hook for his tab.
yeah.
So Robert doesn't resist. This is not his first rodeo. Robert Bobby the Beak Siegel is a made man in the Chicago outfit.
Okay.
This is where the mafia comes in.
God damn it, Leah.
I do want to clarify that I did not know that in advance, or if I did, I forgot it.
Nice.
This maybe my family's in there because I showed you my family tree earlier.
Yeah. Some little mobster girl or something.
So Bobby the Beak is
I want to see his nose. I got a lot of questions.
he's held in the Chicago. It's a magnificent nose. Yeah, he's held in the Chicago Metropolitan Jail, and then he is extradited to Newport Beach, California.
Oh.
He did more than one bank.
Bobby the Beak and 3 others are indicted for a string of jewelry store robberies in Newport Beach and across Florida. He pleads guilty to 9 counts of robbery and racketeering.
He never plead guilty. Always.
Pleads out. Their MO was that they showed up in gloves, suits, and Halloween masks.
Yeah. They had him dead to rights.
So Bobby's in jail.
Bobby the Beak.
Bobby the Beak.
Where's my
your crow call?
Where's my crow call?
Where is your crow call?
It's in the kitchen.
We'll do this later.
Couple of years later, Bobby the Beak is re-indicted, 1994, on a number of other crimes that they've been working through. This time he's got like 12 different accomplices that are associated with all of these other robberies, including somebody else that I just Johnny Robert Evans, Johnny the Hat. How good does your hat have to get to be Johnny
It's
the
gotta be
Hat?
real big and real dumb.
Yeah.
What would my mom name be?
The mouth.
The mouth.
No hesitation.
Yep. Nope. No question. No question.
Nicole the Mouth.
So these guys, additional robberies, Florida, California, Wisconsin, Oklahoma. These are crimes stretching back to 1984.
I mean, good for them.
Armed robbery and violent crime.
Oh, okay, no. Armed robbery where no one gets hurt is one thing. Violent crime is another.
One of these is attempt to kill a pursuing deputy, I think, on one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got better. You distract.
So Saugatuck was their
Say it. Say it what it is. I know what you're gonna say.
coup d'etat. Did I say it right?
No.
Crudité.
Coup d'etat.
Coup d'etat.
But I did call it the coup
Well,
d'etat.
that's
Neither
also
of
not
them
what
are
you're trying
right.
to say, though.
Pièce de résistance.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you meant.
This guy knows what you're doing.
See, they got me. They know.
So,
What she meant to say was
Lee's going to correct me.
So somewhere right around this time, detectives from Newport Beach, California, show up in Saugatuck, and they interview Pat.
Okay.
oh, Pat's hitting the big time.
Yeah, Pat is in the big time.
Nicole's trying to squirt a hornet with water right now.
And I thought I said and she went for me. It was terrifying.
No. But he went away.
Various appeals from Bobby the Beak appear to fail. I think it's probably hard to appeal if you pled out on your counts.
I'm actually surprised he was allowed to appeal, because if you plead guilty, you're not normally allowed to appeal
I
that.
actually knew about this because of a personal connection to someone who did the same thing, and what that person was actually
You're
doing-
friends with the mafia?
Well, maybe.
You're friends with Bobby the Beak?
Maybe. The person was actually appealing their sentence, not the fact that they were guilty.
fair enough. Fair enough.
I think that's probably what he was probably appealing, the length of his sentence versus.
That's exactly
Yeah.
it. Is that he was not the possible sentencing was not sufficiently explained to him
Yeah.
for all 9
Yeah, or
counts. So
sometimes
he's trying to get
you
the
agree
sentence.
to a deal, and the judge changes his mind after, and then you put an appeal, and so that's not what we agreed to.
Yes. So
Oh, that's understandable.
as part of this process, this seems to be right around when Bobby the Beak starts squawking. Shall we say squawking?
Cawing.
Yes. So my impression is that the detectives went to Bobby and they were like, "Hey, Halloween masks, gloves, suits, kiss you." So he named names for his accomplices in the Saugatuck bank robbery.
Snitches get stitches.
Snitches.
So, August 1996, they arrest another guy in Illinois, Francis P. Matza, who doesn't appear.
No way.
His last name was Matza?
Sorry, they call him like the ball or the soup or something.
It ought to be. So it's Mazza. He doesn't have a nickname, and that does. It's a shame.
He doesn't need a nickname. His last name is Matza.
Yeah. And Eugene DeRoy. Eugene's already in prison in Wisconsin for a separate robbery. Yes. Mazza is the only one who gets picked up in this.
I'm sorry. I need to just put a pin in this for a second, because I feel like it would be remiss if I would be remiss if I didn't mention that there has been a persistent hornet
Yeah.
menacing this pod, and I want the listeners to understand that Nicole and Kyla are trading a rolled up wad of Nicole's notes back and forth
To murder it.
We're trying to hit it, but we're not very good.
attempting to just bat this hornet.
Meanwhile, I just keep
That's a
talking.
dedication to the pod.
This is the most I've gotten a word in edgewise in a conversation with Nicole in decades. So I have to enjoy my moment.
He gets his 30 minutes, and then we're done.
Yeah, Ben's known Nicole since 1998, and this is the longest uninterrupted conversation he's ever had.
So
I did give him a bunch of time in the living room by himself, so.
He was alone. It doesn't count.
He was on a work call.
So our four guys, right? Mm-hmm. The Beak, Francis Mazza, Eugene DeRoy. The fourth name that the Beak names is Carmine Genesi. And they can't find Carmine.
Oh.
They can't find Carmine for a very long time.
Is Carmine alive when they do find him?
July 2008.
Oh.
Oh, so we're talking like over 10 years.
Yeah, he's
20.
17.
Yeah.
He's missing for 17. They finally catch Carmine. He's in his 80s
Nice.
Good for him.
and is living comfortably in a Chicago suburb.
I know, like, what does it mean for us that we're like, you know what? Good for you, Carmine.
Hey, you got away with it.
Was he your neighbor in
This
the
guy.
quarantines?
Living a life.
So he changed his last name, moved
might
back
have
to
been-
the old neighborhood,
Maybe
and
this was
just
my
kept
neighbor.
living.
Maybe this was my uncle.
Like, once he found out that Bobby the Beak was telling stories, he just disappeared. They caught him because he had to renew his driver's license.
Carmine, you gotta give
Carmine,
it up
did
if
you
you're
have
over
to?
80.
And it sounds like he basically went and renewed his driver's license and then got home from that and called his son and was like, I think I really screwed up.
Oh, Carmine.
Oops.
So
I'm willing to rob a bank, but I'm not several banks, but I'm not willing to
there's no-
drive without a valid driver's
You guys-
license.
Well, Carmine was the wheelsman. Carmine was the getaway driver.
He needs a valid driver's license.
That's right.
I
Ben.
just feel like this isn't enough money to, like,
Yeah.
I just,
It's
just
not.
doesn't feel like enough money to have fled. Do you know what I mean?
Carmine had long since spent his $60,000
I'm
cut
saying.
of the $360,000.
Because it's going 5 ways.
It's just not that much money. I don't care if it is.
But I
$19.91
appreciate that it took them that long to figure it out.
Well, and the larger, so the indictment in 1994, when they busted kind of the larger operation, they had pulled in $15 million.
Okay, that's impressive.
Okay.
Over like a 10-year period.
Because they're making their system better each time they do it and making it more efficient.
These are professionals.
Victimless crime.
Hey.
Hey.
So Carmine got 5 years in jail for 1 count of racketeering and 1 count
What on
of
earth
stealing
am I
a
doing
car
working
in
in
Holland, Michigan.
This is not.
I am working at a CMH and I could rob a bank and get 5 years in jail if you can catch me.
I like that both of us were like, what am I doing? Work slaving away.
I know I could get away with this. Like, because I can learn from their mistakes. Both our faces.
I also really enjoyed Kyla watching the two of us be like, what are we doing? Working a gainful employment.
You are doing it wrong.
When we could have, in point of fact.
Well, we'll tuck that behind our ears and talk about it off the pod.
Off the pod.
One last note on the movie Point Break. As we've discussed, the movie came out 2 months before this crime happened. Mm-hmm. Features a bunch of surfers who are also bank robbers for the thrill of it.
I hope you're about to tell me that these Guidos loved surfing.
The co-producer and co-writer Rick King, read that LA is the bank robbery capital of the world and wanted to make a movie about bank robbery. And also, I guess, how cool surfing is. Development on the movie began in 1986.
Oh, so that was much
They
earlier.
spent way too much time developing that.
So our understanding,
It's complicated.
the understanding of the crime has always been these guys were inspired to put on Halloween masks by seeing the movie Point Break. They wanted to look cool like the movie Point Break, wearing Reagan and Nixon masks. However, according to the indictment, the larger indictment that happens in 1994, they were committing these crimes in and around the LA area from 1984 onward. So are they inspired by the movie Point Break? Or is the movie Point Break inspired by them?
Because what I'm hearing is
The world may
it
never
took
know.
them
The world
10
may
years
never know.
to make Point Break, which I'm like, what? It took us 4 weeks to put this podcast together, and it's not great.
It took them 5 years, 1986 to 1991.
But it took us
But, yeah.
4 weeks to put this podcast together, and I think it's pretty banging. Like, we get better every time.
Yeah, I think we might be regressing on this episode.
I'm new.
That's strictly from a technical standpoint.
Well, it's the microphones. We have to get better because we're using $15 microphones for the guests.
As a guest of the pod, I'm personally and professionally offended.
But I've already, in my mind, ordering new microphones. Because
Will I
I'm
have a cool, like, over-the-ear, like, microphone situation?
No.
Oh.
We're going to get different microphones because I'm the one watching the voice things happening, and I can tell how loud everyone is.
Never should have given me this great microphone.
And I'm obviously the loudest,
Well, yeah.
but we need new microphones.
Enjoy running those levels.
So, John, I hear it. I see it. Don't judge me. It's coming. So, but when it comes down to it, Ben's bank robbers are smarter than my bank
Yes,
robber.
very much. They lived,
They,
first of all.
they live. That's also
They
the
live,
yes.
they
and
spent
also
the money.
didn't shoot anybody's arm off, which is a classy move.
Or cut anybody's hair
You
off.
and the hair.
But I also like to tell stories that are terrible, and that's really my bread and butter.
And the lesson of this story over here, I guess, is wear Halloween masks, show up very early in the morning, call in a crime someplace else. Don't run. Just stay in town.
Yeah.
And I guess also be affiliated with
I
the
also
Chicago.
I want to know what apartment they
Outfit.
rented because I want to rent the same apartment when we stay there one day.
God, what if that's a place that we rented for Thanksgiving that one?
Oh, it's down by the river.
Everything,
Not us, them. Yeah.
everything
I know.
there is by the river.
That is true. Like,
Down by the river, but it's like on the way out of town. So that if they had to run, they could run.
smart,
right?
smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
They really plan. I like a good planning scenario, planning situation.
Again, just like big ups to a non-violent crime.
Yeah.
I think that's very chill.
So Pat continued to work at the bank until her retirement. Frank famously, I think, was somewhat haunted by the experience. He would drive around the bank several times before going to work
That makes
or
sense.
going into the
like
bank.
I'm willing to guess my lady with her arm shot off was a little gun shy about going into work.
A little gunshot.
and Bobby the Beak would continue to testify against other Chicago criminals, eventually also being a major component of the family secrets trial in Chicago, which brought down a large portion of the Chicago outfit.
I'm going to write that on the list because we're
Bobby
going to
the
talk about that.
Continues to squawk.
Yeah. Fascinating. I didn't know about either of those.
So as far as the pod goes, our next episode, I think, is going to be the Edmund Fitzgerald. Or are we
No,
saving that?
That's being saved. That you weren't
That is
supposed to say
obviously
that.
a November episode.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's so we're in live time. We're recording it tomorrow, but it's going to be saved until November because we're also having guests on that one tomorrow.
There's more guests.
But that will be released the 2 days before the 50th anniversary of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
My only request is that I don't have to listen to the song.
The song's gonna play in the background the whole time on loop.
I fucking hate it.
And I'm gonna sing it too sometimes.
So what that means, though, is next week it's Kyla's
I have a
story.
story next week.
It's not about chickens, headless chickens again, is
It's
it?
going to be about wrestling, which is very apropos because for Labor Day, my dad's social club is doing a wrestling float for the parade, and Nicole and I are participating.
You're going to get to see us dressed as
Yep,
wrestlers.
there won't even be any Photoshop.
No, just live in living color. And I don't have the sign
How do you
off.
sign off? Hold on, let me find it. We've only used it once. Oh, yeah. To the next pour and the next plot twist. Your glass.
There we go. We're professional.
Very.